Hey, what's going on? We're back again. Probably Bullshit Podcast. Welcome back to episode 31. 31 of the Probably Bullshit Podcast today. Joined by me, myself, and I, Joel Martinez. We are here today to talk to the people for the most part. Put out a little poll on Instagram/Facebook earlier today. Kind of just, to be honest, I wasn't really too sure where I wanted to go with today's episode, so I was more looking into kind of talking and getting some ideas from the people, from you, from the listeners, some more interaction from the people. Maybe one of these days I'll set up a little line or whatever, do some call-ins or some shit, leave some voicemails. Um, but until then, we're stuck with just the little Instagram responses until I can get a better way to go about this. But let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it, guys. Again, thank you again for being here. I appreciate everybody listening in. Again, like I say, always follow, like, subscribe, share the episodes with whoever may find it sick, with your homies, some badass friends of yours. Don't share it with fucking lames. All right, we're going to get right into it, guys. Had actually a shit ton more than I expected, so I'm going to get into a bunch of them. A lot of these were just a lot of questions people had, my thoughts on certain things, some pieces of it like advice, I guess, not like I'm the fucking person to be giving advice on anything, my perspective on certain things, but third time's a charm. We're going to get into it. All right. First off, again, I'm going to just keep it all. I decided in the end, I'm just going to keep every question or whoever submitted it anonymous. I don't know really who gives a fuck about what it is they're curious about or not being shared in this. So I'm going to kind of jump around through some of them that I had. First response: would you rather time travel or shit? I'm already fucking up. If you could time travel back to some time, when would you go and why? This is definitely like a really common instance that people will go over, a common question. But usually, I guess it's would you rather go time travel to the future or the past and why? This one's just mainly asking time travel back in time to when and why. Dude, I really think based on majority of the shit that I've ever looked into, because I'm also assuming if I'm time traveling back in time, I'm not going to a different place. So I'm probably staying in America, Colorado for the most part. I'd probably, as much as interesting as everything is, as interesting as a lot of shit that's been going through like American history is, I still wouldn't want to be anything really far away from where I'm at now, if that makes sense. I know people always say like, "Oh, this is the greatest time to be alive," or they refer to like the 50s as like that was the best time to be alive, maybe the 60s, 70s, the hippie movement type shit like that. But I really think kind of this era of what we're living in now is probably the best. And again, I don't know. Again, this question was kind of open-ended, so I don't do I got to time travel back there and just live there and live out my life from there? Do I get to come back? I'm assuming I get to come back and I just get to experience this. Am I fucking it up? Is there like a butterfly effect thing to this? I don't know. Assuming this person meant time travel back, just fucking experience it. Doesn't really matter. And then be able to come back whenever you want. I'm going to probably have to go with like maybe early 90s to like 2000s, somewhere around there. I don't know. Us being my age I am now, yeah, I think I'd probably go back to like the 90s, right before like cell phones were like really getting crazy over in the early 2000s. Before people were so dependent on like any type of electronics and just human interaction seemed very more, what's the word? More likely, I guess, for lack of a better term. If I was to go back in time to, yeah, a time like that, I think it'd be a lot better because it puts you in this aspect where not much is different when it comes to human interaction. Obviously, everybody's going to have their own type of interactions. But for the most part, cell phones aside, I think it kind of puts humans still in a good bonding experience. And it lets you be like kind of cooperating with people and fucking meeting up with somebody and uh, not depending on like just texting and fucking in Instagram and Facebook and shit like that all the time. No more social media. Um, yeah, I think that especially like music, I think that would be a really good time to experience like fucking beach parties or something like that. Again, I know I said I'd probably be in Colorado, but fuck you. Let me move to like California or one of the coasts or something and experience like West Coast parties when you got all the 90s music coming out. Go to fucking New York and listen to some like gangster rap out there, some East Coast rap. That'd be a fucking sick thing to experience. And just like in the height of music like that, in the height of hip hop, rap music, that'd be pretty fucking sick, I think. That'd probably be my biggest request is going back to a time like that. Um, all right, moving on. Thoughts on the TPUSA halftime show? TPUSA. I'll be honest, I don't really know what the fuck the TPUSA halftime show is. I heard about it, so let's look this up. Obviously, everybody's talking about the whole Bad Bunny halftime show, but TPUSA halftime show, I heard something about this. Let's look it up. Um, da, da, da. The All American Halftime Show was a counter programmed halftime event produced by the conservative nonprofit Turning Point USA, which timed to coincide with the Super Bowl's halftime show on February 8th, blah, blah, blah. Streamed online, mainly on YouTube, rather than as a part of their actual Super Bowl broadcast. It was branded as a celebration of faith, family, and freedom. The lineup featured Kid Rock as the headliner, plus country artists Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. Why it happened? TPUSA positioned this show as a cultural response to the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny, who headlined the Super Bowl halftime, and the backlash from some conservative audiences to his performance style and Latin-influenced artist direction. Controversy and reactions. Some critics argued it was an ideological stunt rather than a genuine entertainment event. Others pointed to controversies about performers' histories and the political motives behind the alternative broadcasts. Whatever. I don't know. I think maybe if there's any type of controversy behind that, it's probably because people assume like, oh, it's really racist of them to put on some type of like pro-America type of thing. Here's the thing, guys. At the end of the day, watch whatever the fuck you want to watch. Who cares? Do you think everybody's always loved like all the past halftime shows? No. And whether it's like you want to include fucking race to it or not, it's pretty ridiculous. I don't know. Yes, people want to say like, oh well, this is America. This is an NFL sport. Um, this is America's sport. Why is the NFL doing this shit for Puerto Rico? Blah blah blah. Like all this Latin shit. Like we're American. Dude, I get it. Yes, I get what you're trying to say because I can see that point of view. But at the same time, it's almost like Puerto Rico is America. America is diversity. That's really what we've always been. And I know it's really easy to like America, beer, English, country music, fucking fireworks, Eagles, like, and you want to say that that's America. Like, and yes, that shit is cool, but that's not all America is, you know what I mean? America is like the only place that when it comes to diversity and foreigners and like just a melting pot. Everybody talks about America being a melting pot. And I don't think it's racist to want to be American and fucking only love all of those things. I don't think it's racist. You just have pride in your stuff. The same way I don't think it's racist for someone to live in America and fucking like have a Mexican flag outside of their country or outside of their house or Russian flag or whatever. Like, yeah, they just have pride in whatever ethnicity they have. That's what America is just a fucking melting pot. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I mean, do I think that it was like a stunt more than like a genuine thing that these people were putting on with this halftime show? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. But at the end of the day, it was still trying to pander to the people who were more interested in some type of American audience, you know what I mean? American things. And that's cool. There's a shit ton of people who watch football who don't give a fuck about Bad Bunny music, and that's cool. You don't have to. There's a fuck ton of people who watched previous Super Bowl halftime shows who didn't give a fuck about Prince's music, Lady Gaga's music, name the artist, The Weeknd, whoever. You don't have to fucking watch it, and that's fine. But again, I think people getting insanely pissed off and saying like, "Oh, this is fucking retarded. This is ridiculous." That there's some Latin guy doing the halftime shows, not even singing in fucking English, blah blah blah. Dude, feel however the fuck you want to feel. Who cares? Don't watch it. Just literally, just don't fucking watch it. You don't like the PT or TP, fuck, PTUSA halftime show? Then don't watch it. TP, fuck, TPUSA halftime show? Don't watch it. Just watch whatever the fuck you want to watch at the end of the day. Who cares? I don't know. I think people are just dive into this way too deep. Like, sure, you want to say this is an American sport. We should only have American fucking music or whatever. Puerto Rican music is American music, I guess. Sure, it's Latin. It's a different language, but Puerto Rico is America at the end of the day. So, sorry, Bubba. All right, moving on. Before we get too fucking political in that, and I say something that gets me canceled. Whatever. Let's go. What's your favorite hobby to do alone? That's a good one. I don't know. I feel like I don't really do too many things alone. No, exercise. I definitely really enjoy lifting by myself, or like just exercise in general, running, whatever it may be. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing it with people, like having like a lifting partner or something too. But it's different sometimes when you're able to just have like that hour and a half, hour, 2 hours, however long it is you're fucking in there working out by yourself. I enjoy that. I think it gives you mainly the self-reflection throughout that hour or so that you're, however long again, that you're there, kind of just almost being like your biggest critic. You're your coach, you are your critic, you are your audience, and you're the determining factor. You know what I mean? If you walk into a gym and the shit gets hard and you're doing it alone, you quit whenever the fuck you want to quit. If you think, hey, no, I could do heavier, I could do harder weight, I could do more reps, that's up to you. So I think when you're doing it alone, it kind of gives you just it's like you're looking in like a mirror. And I know this sounds corny, whatever, but really it is. If you're alone working out, there's times where you're gonna walk into the gym and think, hey, all right, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do 3 sets of that, 4 sets of 12 here, 8 sets of whatever the fuck here, and then I'm gonna do an hour on the treadmill, and then I'm gonna hit the sauna or whatever. Throughout that workout, sometimes you get fucking a different mindset. Like you thought, yeah, I'm gonna walk in here and fucking crush this. And then halfway through the workout, you're like, fuck this, dude, I'm tired. I know I said I'd do core, but fuck that, I'm not doing core anymore. So then you cut it out. Or you're like, fuck, I'm so tired, but we're gonna fucking do this. I gotta stay determined and stick with whatever the fuck I said I was gonna do. Again, it's you are your only coach and critic when you're in there doing that shit alone. So I really enjoy doing that shit alone because it kind of gives you like self-reflection. And sometimes there's days where I'm in there, like, again, this is like my favorite hobby to do alone. There's days where I'm in there and I'm working out alone and I feel like it's the best workout and I'm really pushing myself. And there's other days where it's like, fuck, like I do some self-reflection in the gym and realize like, fuck, I'm being a bitch right now, dude. I am doing light sets. I am not working that hard, whatever reflection I'm making on myself. But at least it gives me like an idea of where I stand with myself in that time. So, yeah, it's probably my favorite hobby to do alone is just work out in general. If I had to pick any other ones, I don't know. I really don't think I do that many other things alone. If I'm ever doing anything, I'm usually with people. Yeah, I mean, even if it's like with fucking strangers or something, like let's say like, oh, there's people who enjoy doing like go play like pickleball or something, but like you don't do that shit really by yourself unless you're just like one of those old ass men that's just like serving into the nets. But yeah, I think for the most part, there's not many things that I enjoy doing alone. Aside from like, I was gonna say cleaning or something, but I don't even enjoy doing that alone. I'd rather someone fucking help me. But moving on. Would you rather find the cure for cancer or the cure for old age? Definitely cure for cancer. Just because cancer almost like robs a shit ton of people of achieving old age. There's plenty of people, there's plenty of kids who fucking get sick and die of cancer, or maybe not even get sick and die, but like get sick and are robbed of their childhood because of cancer. So if you could kind of cure that, I think that'd be a lot easier. Whereas old age, I guess how old are we talking? Like if we're talking people who are like dying of old age, then yeah, you're probably gonna be looking at like 70, 75 and up. And you ever talk to your fucking grandma? Like you ever talk to old people? The biggest thing they want to do is die. They're always like, oh, fucking like can't wait. Like they're just sick of people's shit. So they don't even want a cure for the most part. You definitely got to go with cure for cancer. Fucking people with cancer never want to fucking die. Whereas old age, those people are fucking ready to go most of the time. Not all the time, most of it. Moving on. Would you rather have your daughter's boyfriend be a poser with a face tattoo or have him be a real hood gangbanger with face tattoos? Fuck. That's tough. You know, I think like my initial thought is, oh, have him be like some poser with a face tattoo because at least like he's not dangerous and maybe he's probably not like fucking hitting her, putting hands on her or anything like that. But at the same time, like if you're a poser, you're also not someone worth like let's say okay, think of like the biggest poser gangbanger that has like face tattoos, but everybody knows like he's soft as baby shit. This dude can get pressed by a fucking high school nerd and robbed of his lunch money if you really pushed it. Everything on the outside is a facade. That's not someone you want your daughter with either. But do I want her with some real fucking gangbanger with like that's hanging out with murderers and criminals? I don't know. The real gangbanger is probably more of a protector of her, but he's probably also has less regard for human life. I don't fucking know, man. That's tough. Would you rather have your daughter's boyfriend be a poser with a face tattoo or a real hood gangbanger with a face tattoo? Fuck. You could say like, okay, if he's like a real hood gangbanger, then like he's probably someone who's gonna like keep her safe. But he's also probably someone who's getting her into trouble and like bringing her around bad people. I the poser you could probably like put him through like some scared straight shit though. Like not saying I could, but like he could probably get scared straight and fucking realize that this gangbanger shit or like fake gangbanging shit's not for him and he'll be out of it. So yeah, maybe there is when you'd want to go with like a poser like her to have like a little pussy boyfriend. Yeah, I think I'd rather her date a poser. Even though again like he's just some fucking dweeb who like no one respects and she probably doesn't respect and like if this guy's a fucking loser then she probably doesn't respect him either and I doubt she's going to be very happy with him. Whereas like if she was dating like a straight nerd who's not pretending to be anything, like it's known that he's a nerd, she could probably be happy with a fucking like just an absolute square. But someone who's pretending to be someone they're not, that's tough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the poser. Final answer, locking it in, and then hopefully she leaves him. Okay, moving on. That one's hard. You guys tell me what you think on that one. If your life continued unchanged for 5 years, how would you feel? Ouch. If your life continued unchanged for 5 years, how would you feel? Okay, so obviously aside from like the being the exact same age, being like no facial changes, no body changes or whatever, but like just the position you're in life, making the exact same amount of money, in the exact same living situation with like the exact same amount of like problems that you may have now and no advancements, that's tough to think about. Obviously, it could you could look at it in the positive way of like, oh, well, if nothing's changed, then you don't have any new problems. Like I'm pretty healthy right now. I'm really healthy right now. So in 5 years, still be this healthy, that'd be nice. Which again, 24 years old, I don't plan on being terribly unhealthy by 29, but I'd assume your body's gonna wear down a little bit once you're nearing 30. Fuck. Overall, if my life hadn't changed for shit in 5 years, that'd be kind of tough. I'd be pretty ashamed of myself. Which I was gonna say, which sucks to say, but not really. I mean, I think the purpose of like humanity is just to like kind of maybe not the purpose, but what I've kind of thought of my purpose is just to keep improving. You know, that's one of my biggest goals is to keep improving. Am I always doing that? No. Am I usually doing that? Yes. In from my perspective, anyways. Um, by my definition of improving. So to have no improvements for 5 years would just be complete stagnant and be tough. You'd be facing 30 with not much changing. I think I'd be pretty upset with myself. My health, I guess I'd be fine with, but like my life goals, like do I have any kids? Have I bought a house? Am I happy with my career? Am I like, I would hope in 5 years, like those things are reality. And if they're not, that's that's tough. And I know I just name a bunch of fucking um, like materialistic things, but like okay, even like relationship wise, I think my relationships with the people that I'm like close with and that I care about now are still really good. There's some relationships I'd like to mend and improve, um, but overall, like if my relationships with everybody around me are were the same in 5 years as they are right now, I think I'd still be okay with where those relationships are at. Obviously, I want to go closer with a lot of people and um, become more knowledgeable on like other people and the best way to communicate with them and for them to communicate with me. I don't know even know where I'm going with that. Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking upset. I'd be pretty upset if in 5 years I was in the exact same place I'm in now. Moving on. That one was getting deep. All right, to a funny one. When's the last time you shit your pants? Ouch. To be honest, it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that fucking long. And by okay, shit your pants like I've never dropped a full log in the underwear. You know what I mean? But like I'd be willing to bet at least 50%. Men usually of men listening have went to fart and found out the hard way that it wasn't a fart. And that's where I was last time I quote unquote shit my pants. Putting it out there. I honestly it was my birthday last year. I was in I didn't even tell my friends this. That episode live in Austin, that episode we were out in Austin, Yave, Atone, and Eman listening in. Yo, we were at that breakfast restaurant. When I went to go use the restroom, like right after we ordered, I tried to sneak a little quick one, two out the side. You know when you like lift a little butt cheek. Found out the hard way it wasn't a fart, brothers. Went to the restroom, disposed of the evidence, and came back like nothing was wrong. Went commando for the rest of the day, actually. But besides that, fuck. It's like, and I'm not saying like, okay, when I say it was last year, it was my birthday, like, that doesn't happen that often. It's not like it's happening once a year. Before that, it was probably when I was like 12. I was in the grocery, or no, I was in the parking lot of the grocery store waiting for my mom. Shout out to the Yellow Store in Greeley, Colorado. Whatever the fuck they're calling it now. Food Mart, Food Shop, and Lowe's. I don't know. Yellow Store in Greeley, Colorado. I was in the car in the parking lot waiting for my mom. I think I was with my brother. and we were just sitting in there. Again, went to fart, found out the hard way it wasn't a fucking fart. Went inside, threw away the evidence, and went commando for the rest of the day. That's usually how it goes. I don't think I've ever dropped full logs. Anybody out there dropping full logs in their pants? That's tough. Let me know. Let me drop in the comments. Let me know if you ever dropped a full log in your pants. That's tough. Okay. Moving back on. Snowboarding versus skiing. Which is better and why is snowboarding better and skiing is gay? To be honest, I've only ever been snowboarding once. I've never been skiing. Skiing looks like it's easier, and that's probably why this person is referring to it being gay. Easier is gay. It does look, I think it does look gay for sure, like just a lot more fruity when you see people skiing and like you can tell that they don't know what they're doing as much, whereas and they turn into like that whole, what do they call it, like the pizza where you're pointing your toes forward and shit, and like you look like a fucking gazelle, like a newborn gazelle, and like you're like scared to fall and you have these fucking sticks with you and or whatever. You look a lot more feminine like that than when you're on a board and like you're just losing your balance and you fall on your ass. That looks a lot more manly. Based on what I've seen and what I've heard, it seems like snowboarding is a lot harder, which you could in turn say that it's manlier because it's harder, depending if you want to have some whatever idea you have towards that. Skiing looks easier, so yeah, but again, since I've only ever been snowboarding, I'm gonna say snowboarding's better. I did crack my fucking head hard snowboarding though. Bad. Luckily I had a helmet, but it was like a little rental helmet. I hope they don't give that rental helmet to anybody else because I probably whacked that bitch hard. Fell on my ass, and I really think I got a concussion. But moving on. Would you rather get honest feedback from everyone one day, or polite lies forever? I feel like if I were to ask for honest feedback from every single person for one day, I don't think much would change. Again, obviously, I'm probably oblivious to it, but I don't think that many people are lying to me. You know what I mean? Whereas if I was going to get polite lies forever, that would fucking suck. Even if it's polite. But honest feedback from everyone for one day. I think like a majority of the people around me keep it pretty honest. Do they sugarcoat some stuff? Maybe, yeah. But for the most part, like I could walk outside and like, let's say I go meet up with some of my friends for like lunch or some shit. Like my friends are gonna be the first one to tell me like, bro, what the fuck are you wearing? Like you look stupid. and and like I'm fine with that. So I wouldn't really be harmed if someone like it's not like I'm someone who's never getting honest feedback from the people around me. I don't think I really have a shit ton of like yes men around me. So honest feedback from every single person that I interact with for an entire day, I'd probably rather go with that. Okay. Next. What do you hope you grow out of? I mean, fuck, dude. Hopefully, like, my height. I hope I grow out of this fucking height, which it's done. 24 years old, I think I'm done growing, but I hope, honestly, not to toot my own horn. I don't think I'm the sexiest man alive. I don't think I'm hideous either, though. I really think if I was 5'10", I'd be at least a 9. Like a 9 out of 10. If I was 6 foot, bro, I'd be a fucking 10. You can't tell me wrong. Whatever, tell me whatever you want. Maybe not a 10. If I was 6 foot, I'd be a 9, bro. I really think that my biggest hindrance is my fucking height. But with all, like, in all reality, being serious, what do you hope you grow out of? I guess we're talking like personality traits. I don't know. There's definitely some stuff I want to grow out of, you know, but can I think of one off the top of my mind? Fuck, I should have prepared for this one. I don't know. I guess on that last podcast I was talking about my ability to, like, my inability, I guess, to not apologize when I really need to. So I hope I grow out of that, but I've already been over that, so I'm trying to think of another one. I think just the idea of always wanting to be comfortable, you know, I'm always thinking of like comfortability, and I don't think I sacrifice enough for the things that I want in general. Um, like there's probably a lot more time where I'm just sitting around on my ass, being comfortable, and almost telling myself that like I've done all right, I've done enough for the day or for the week or whatever, when I could be doing more. And that's not just like work things. That's not just like exercise things. That's just like towards my goals in general, you know, like my goals in life. I could really be excelling more towards those in my downtime. Um, I could be, okay, yeah. I mean, without getting too in depth about it, just the ability to kind of get out of my comfort zone. I wish I can grow out of that more and kind of not just like keep myself back and have a whole like mental blockage to be able to sacrifice the things that I want to, or the downtime and the free time that I have, so that I can enjoy the fruits of the labor later. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's probably the best one. What's the best decision you've ever made? Fuck, man, I really should have went over these again. Just because that's a tough one on the spot as well. Best decision I've ever made. Um, I mean, for my own like self growth, I really think it was like going to therapy. It's given me just a new perspective on life. Because how often, like you, the listener, right now, whoever, wherever you are, wherever you're driving to work, you're at the gym, you're working right now, whatever the fuck it is you're doing, you're cleaning your dishes. Right now, think to yourself, like, when is the last time you really sat and talked with somebody about like yourself? Because most of the time when people are talking about themselves, like they're talking about like the problems and like, oh, this fucking guy at work, and or this girl at work that pissed me off. And but when are you actually really talking about yourself and like the things you've been through, um and not even like a bad way, like, oh, like the trauma you went through or anything, but just know like the reflecting on even the positive things you've been through and everything that's shaped you that came with that, you know what I mean? You learn more about yourself in doing that, especially as a man. Like, you, when are you ever going to sit and talk about like, okay, well, growing up, this is what like it was like with my parents, and this was like you never do that. You never sit with people and do that, you know? And when you can dedicate an entire like hour to certain parts of your life and break it down, um, I think it helps. I think it just kind of, again, gives you more self reflection of, oh, fuck, maybe that's why I do that. I've never even thought about that, you know? And it, again, I think therapy is always thought of as like some like hippy dippy bullshit of like, ah, well, I had a good childhood. What the fuck do I need to go to therapy for or whatever? But it's like therapy isn't just to overcome trauma. It's to understand yourself more, understand the relationships you have with other people better, work on your ability to connect with others, work on your ability to interact and see different sides of any type of case with others. And I think that's really helped me. It's given me the ability to do all the things that I just mentioned. Um, yeah, I think that's been one of the best decisions. I don't know if it's the best decision I've ever made, you know? Um, like, there's a lot of decisions. If I didn't like change and go to a different high school, would I have ever met a shit ton of the friends that like I now have as like lifelong friends? Well, if I didn't go to a certain middle school, same thing. Like when I was younger, I probably was the biggest one telling my mom, "Oh no, I want to go to this middle school instead of that one, or this high school instead of that one." And fucking everything changes and based on the people you meet through that. Like, if I didn't go to a certain if I didn't go to the high school that I went to, would I have ever met Jacinda and fucking had the relationship with her that I've built, and hopefully the fucking family that I build one day, you know, and the people I've met through it. Um, there's a shit ton of great decisions I've made that have completely put me on a fucking huge path in life, you know? So I don't know. Those are some big ones. Um, Best decision I've ever made too was like joining wrestling. Like that's I know people talk about like that corny fucking cliche saying, but like once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. And I really think it is because of just the fucking real hardship that you put your body through for self-reflection and tells you more about yourself. You learn more about yourself in doing so. Um, as much as I fucking hated it, I also loved it so much. One of the best decisions. So, can I pinpoint one specific? No, but those are like some of my top few, I guess. That's pretty hard. Like even you, again, the listener, what's the best decision you've ever made? You've probably made a shit ton of terrible ones and a shit ton of great ones, but to like pinpoint one is really fucking hard. But at least like you can start to think about the good ones you've made right now, like I am now. Um, have you ever looked into Have you ever looked into modern conspiracies tying in with current events? For example, like the Epstein files. You know, I for a while I started to get into more, and by current events, I think it goes really more into like politics. When it comes to conspiracies, all conspiracies kind of relate back to politics for the most part. And whether there's political candidates hiding shit behind conspiracies or not, or whatever it is they might be doing. I was getting really political for a while and getting really involved with a lot of things, and I decided to really just cut back on it because I realized that there's almost no end. Of course, there's no end to those types of fucking rabbit holes that you throw yourself down. And when it comes to like the Epstein files, for example, like the people are talking about now, yes, it's something that is huge and you should like learn about to be able to like stop, for lack of a better term, it happening again. But it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I'm just a fucking cog in the wheel. Me myself, anyways. The masses, sure, they can make a change, but like one single person, especially me, fucking 24-year-old in Colorado, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do different. Either way, conspiracies are always really fun to get into, and I do like conspiracies. It's not like I've completely sheltered myself away from them, but like current events, I've completely stayed out of the news and stuff lately just because it's pointless. I don't see it heading anywhere. The Epstein files too. People keep talking about, oh, this is what it was saying in here, and this is who was in it, and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, that's going to be another thing that goes down in history, just like the whole JFK shit. You're never going to really know the whole truth. No one's ever going to be fucking really taken down for it. And if they do, it's not going to be the real people that you think, like the real people who are committing the crimes that go down for this shit. I don't know. It's too much. I just don't follow. I've kind of given up on it. I've thrown my hands up and fucking wiped my hands clean of any type of like current events going on with conspiracies. Yes, there's some fun ones out there like the fucking moon landing and shit. But again, moon landing goes back to politics. You want to talk like aliens, moon landing, fucking flat Earth, stuff like that. It's fun, but it all kind of points back to the same things. The Jews. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it is definitely weird. It is weird when you look into a lot of things pointing back to politics. But we move on. I don't want to get political on this show, mainly because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Would you rather have sex with a cheese grater or a homeless lady? Oh. Without getting too... How long has she been homeless? Is she like a vet? Has she been homeless for fucking like 10 years? Or did she just like recently lose her job and like her baby daddy kicked her out or something? Because we can make do with that. But like 10-year vet, homeless lady? I don't fucking know, man. But a cheese grater? I just broke my cheese grater. It was really flimsy. And no, I wasn't having sex with it, but I did break it. I was fucking grating some cheese the other day, and the fucking whole thing like kind of the frame of it like kind of cracked. I needed to get a new one. I didn't have sex with it. I'm just gonna assume this homeless lady's probably not been homeless for that long. Because let's be honest, majority of homeless people are men. There's not that many homeless women out there. But the ones that are homeless, they're rough. I'm gonna take my chances with the homeless lady. Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna take the chances with the homeless lady though. What's the healthiest way to deal with regret? Sorry, we're moving on. We're moving on. What's the healthiest way to deal with regret? Hmm, that's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, regret can eat you alive. You know what I mean? Or it can really push you to. It's just like mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, what's the fill in that word instead? What's the healthiest way to deal with your mistakes? Which is most people probably regret their mistakes, at least to an extent. Maybe not regret it enough to want to really change it and wish you could have done something different, but you're going to have some type of regret there. But I'd say the healthiest way to deal with regret is to just like make it the next time you're presented with the opportunity to do better. So like let's say you regret missing your fucking daughter's dance recital, whatever. The best way to deal with that is go to fucking every one of them going forward. You know what I mean? Um, but if you want to get deeper, like what's the best, healthiest way to deal with the regret of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that's like terrible, but I don't want to get fucking too far. I think just like think about the positives of the positive things that you were doing prior to that mistake for your regret. Like, okay, like the night before my sister passed away, her and like my family were all, or not my family, like her and my mom or somebody, they were all going to go to dinner. And they asked me if I wanted to go. And obviously, I didn't know this was the last time I was going to see my sister. And initially, I regretted it. Like, immediately, that's the first thing I thought about the next morning when I found out that she had passed away. That I could have went and had like a last, um, like a last dinner with her. You know what I mean? And I regret not doing that. But not to the extent of like it like eats me alive or anything anymore. Maybe for like the first week or so, like I was really kind of like, I don't think I was really even beating myself up about it, but I was just thinking about the opportunity that I missed out on, you know? But instead, I just started flooding myself with more positive memories, you know, of like I saw her that night at least, and I hung out with her and like at my family's house, and like we all bullshit and talked and like had a good night. So I think about that rather than like, okay, well, even though we didn't go to dinner together, at least had seen her prior. Um, at least I had like spent time with her prior and upcoming, and I at least our relationship was good. And like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I turned it to positive memories rather than negative memories. You know, I think of like where her and my relationship was at prior to her death, and I think of the positives there because it was great. Her and I were talking all the time, and it was cool, and we were bullshitting with each other, fucking poking fun. She was calling me big head, and I was saying she's ratchet, and just shit like that, you know. And I flood myself with positive memories rather than the negative memories, you know. And it's easier to do it like that. Again, I know there's probably a lot more huge, big things that people are going to regret, but you got to think about the positive. Focus on the positive. And I know that's a really cliche thing that people say all the time, but it's true. Um, the best way to kind of get over like some type of mistake or something you're really regretting is just to work on that and not make the same mistake twice. Work on the future version of yourself. Um, Make sure that that person is a better version than the person you were on the day you made the decision that you now regret, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, moving on. That was a good one. Um, I, let's see. I got one more. This is the last one we're gonna do, and then I want to finish this with the Daily Stoic from today. Today was a good passage. I liked it. Um, when is it okay to confront someone versus quietly distance yourself from them? I think it depends on your morals and like your own perspective, because I think I'm probably a lot more likely to confront someone when they've like wronged and like truthfully disrespected, or at least I like to think this of myself. You might disagree. Someone out there who knows me, I don't know. I like to think that I'm someone who is more likely to confront someone for disrespecting or like completely wronging someone that I love rather than them completely wronging or disrespecting me. And that's, yeah, I think I'd like to think I would do that. Um, because for the most part, it's just not worth it. Again, like it's pointless to try and like confront someone. You got to think about who it is you're confronting. Is this a fucking brick wall you're talking to? Is this someone you can really? And confrontation doesn't always have to be like negative and like chewing someone's ass and yelling at them and fucking threatening to fight them or anything like that. But just like confronting them about, hey, like you did this the other day or you said this about me and I just wanted to know why you said that, or like I wanted to kind of explain my point of view on why I think you're wrong or whatever. Confrontation doesn't always have to be something completely negative like that. But again, think about who it is you're confronting. When is it the best? Are you talking to someone who is hard-headed as fuck and there's no getting through to them, in one ear out the other, Because then if that's the case, then just distance yourself from it. It's fucking, you're talking on deaf ears. It's landing on deaf ears. There's no point in even wasting your breath to try and get that across. Um, if this is this somebody who's a lot more understanding and willing to hear your perspective, then sure, yeah, talk to them about whatever it is you have to confront them on. Um, but it's like I make this analogy all the time, or this reference. But I don't know. Have you guys ever seen? I think it's the Goodfellas. No, it's not the Goodfellas. A Bronx Tale. In A Bronx Tale, there's that scene where he's fucking chasing this guy or whatever. He owes him $20. Every time he sees him, the guy's fucking ducking him, and he's just like, this motherfucker like he owes me money every time I fucking see him. I swear I'm gonna knock him the fuck out. Blah blah blah. Like he's pissed off, and then Sonny, the fucking main like mob boss in the movie. That's Sonny, right? Is Sonny the fucking kid? Let me see before I say some dumb shit. Yeah, Sonny's the main guy. Chaz Palminteri. But yeah, Sonny kind of tells him like, he's like, yo, dude, like, what the fuck is your problem? It's like, why are you stressing so much on this guy? And he's like, cause that motherfucker owes me $20 every time he sees me. He's fucking ducking me. He's ducking me. And I'm making up the number. I don't remember if it was $20, whatever it was, $60, whatever. But he's like, okay. He's like, well, how often does this happen? He's like, every fucking time I lend that asshole money, he's always fucking ducking me. It's always gives me the run around, and he's always causing me problems or whatever. And Sonny turns to him and he's like, okay, well, how about, he's like, fuck the money. He's like, completely forget about the fucking money. The money's gone, all right? And he's like, what? And he's like, I can't fucking let him know that he just got off on for fucking $20 on me, blah, blah, blah. And Sonny's just like, think about it like this. He's like, for $20, he'll leave you alone forever. He's like, every time he sees you, he fucking runs away, right? He fucking wants nothing to do with you. He'll leave you alone. And he was always doing that shit. He was always borrowing money, not paying you back, whatever. And I'm putting a lot of fucking words in his mouth. This was way shorter of a scene. But he was basically saying, hey, for $20, he's out your life now. Leave it at that. It's a lot fucking easier than you just wasting energy and chasing this motherfucker and getting pissed off every time you see him. So it's the same thing in confrontation. Like, if you feel like someone really wronged you or whatever, and your relationship is completely shattered, or whatever you want to call it, is the energy and the breath you have to put in to confront this person. Is it worth it to make that interaction with this person, or should you just fucking leave it? Like, hey, me and this person never have to fucking talk again at the price of they just disrespected me one time, and I'm fucking cool with that. If you have some fucking really high ego and it's like, nah, I can't let nobody fucking disrespect me ever, then sure, cool, go fucking punk this guy, do whatever the fuck you gotta do. But you gotta make that decision. Is the juice worth the squeeze? No, just, all right, that guy's fucking talking shit about me to everybody over here, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, at least I know he's not gonna fucking come around me anymore, and he's telling everybody he doesn't like me. Cool. I don't give a fuck. At the price of me having to hear that him tell people that he doesn't like me, I don't ever have to fucking talk to the guy again. That's seems like a pretty fucking good trade to me. So, yeah, that's the last one. So yeah, when is it okay to confront someone versus quietly distance yourself? Just decide whether or not it's worth it. Do a reflection on what's the price that you're paying. What type of person is it? How big is the instance? How are you planning on confronting them? Is it negative? Is it with violence? Is it with fucking just words and hopefully like voice and reason? And then make that decision. All right, ending the pod. I think this was a little short one today. I don't know how long we've been fucking going. Where am I at? What's February 9th? We go back. God damn it. All right, February 9th. Ooh, this one actually kind of plays in. Now that I think about it with the whole halftime show shit. All right. February 9th. You don't have to have an opinion. We have the power to hold no opinion about a thing and to not let it upset our state of mind. For things have no natural power to shape our judgments. Here's a funny exercise. Think about all the upsetting things you don't know about. Stuff people might have said about you behind your back. Mistakes you might have made that never came to your attention. Things you dropped or lost and never even realized it. What's your reaction? You don't have one because you don't even know about it. So in other words, it is possible to hold no opinion about a negative thing. You just need to cultivate that power instead of wielding it accidentally. Especially when having an opinion is likely to make us aggravated. Practice the ability of having absolutely no thought about something. Act as if you had no idea it ever occurred, or that you've never heard of it before. Let it become irrelevant or non-existent to you, and it'll be a lot less powerful that way. My point from earlier, exactly. There's no reason to let shit bother you. Like, it's so much easier when the halftime show, like if you're really, really fucking bothered that some Latin artist was singing in Spanish, it's like, dude, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Just turn it off. Act like it's not there. You'll feel a lot better. It said the same thing, like how do you feel about the things that you've lost that you don't even know you've lost yet? You feel pretty fucking good right now, don't you? Because you don't even know you lost them. It's the moment you realize that you lost them that you let it kind of take control of you. It's the moment you realize you made an accident and fucked up that you let it take control of you. But, hey, you fucked up at work yesterday? You have no clue about it right now until you go in tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you're probably going to feel a certain way. But, like, right now, you don't know. And how do you feel? It still happened. You still fucked up. But how do you feel right now? Feel pretty damn good. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. And that's the thing, I think, again, where I was talking with deep backtrack to where would I rather be if I had to go time travel back in time? It's like the 90s before everybody was on social media and everything was an opinion and everything was in comparison to everybody. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about everybody's opinion? You can have it, but you don't have to care about everybody's opinion. You don't have to have, even if you do have opinion, you don't need to voice it all the time. You don't even need to really have one. Just chill. Don't let shit bother you. It's pointless. I don't know. I think that was a great passage. I hope you guys kind of rewind this fucking podcast, listen to that again, and then have a great fucking day. Have a great Tuesday. We're here. Probably Bullshit Podcast. Like, subscribe, share it with the bros. I try not to be so fucking philosophical and deep and whoop-de-woo, and because I do think this is like advice that like is a good perspective for a lot of people, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But at the same time, I also want to make this like comedy too, just like because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You might play this to a therapist right now, and they're gonna think, "Yeah, that guy's retarded," and they are correct to feel such a way. But yeah, so thank you again to everybody listening. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting. I hope to get lots more in the future as I grow as a person, as a podcaster, as a friend, a fucking dickhead brother, everything that I am. So, hope you guys will stay along for the ride. Fuck yeah, probably bullshit podcast. We're out.